Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. My name's Raymond, and in this video I'll be doing an unboxing of the Kickstarter edition of Super Fantasy Brawl by Jochen Eisenhut, published by Mythic Games, along with the expansion Force of Nature and several of the extras like the vinyl playmats. This is a game for 2 or 4 players, and it's a MOBA style arena battle game which plays in about half an hour for ages 14 and up. I'll do a separate video in the future of how to play the game, and I'll give you my thoughts on the game, but for now let's take a look at what's inside. Okay, Super Fantasy Brawl. This is the Kickstarter edition, which is a huge big white box with the logo on the front, really cool looking, and on the back of it you can see how tall this thing is. This is just incredibly big, just barely fits into my frame. On the back we've got all the miniatures. They're not painted, they do not come painted in this game, but that does look incredibly nice. And it tells you a bit about the land of Fabulosa, and something about the game, and of course the contents. 30 to 40 minutes, ages 14 up, for 2 or 4 players. You can play it on Tabletopia as well, and it has game trays inside, as you will see. So let's open up the box. Alright, so first of all, of course, we find the rules. So here's the rule book, which is 16 pages and has a nice index on the back, which is very handy to look up some of the things you might forget or might have missed. So here lists all the components, how you set up the game, how you win the game, of course, 5 victory points, that's what you need. How you can draft your heroes, basic concepts, and then here basically the rules start, page 8. So it's not too complex, it's actually a very simple game. You pick 3 heroes, you mash their decks of cards together, and those are your actions. You draw 5 cards, and you can play 3 different colors of actions, so 3 different colors of cards on a turn, or these basic actions that are on your player board. You can level up a character when you take an enemy out, and that will make your character more powerful and also score you a victory point. There are traps, there are some effects that can happen, and there's a 4-player variant with 2 teams of 2 players, and all the keywords are explained here and here. So yeah, those are the rules. It's not very complicated. And now we have these awesome game trays with all of the minis inside. So I'm gonna start with this tray here, which has the cards. So there's a pack of cards here, and these smaller cards as well. These are your targets that you want to, these challenge cards that you want to do. So let me open those up first. Alright, so we've got these challenge cards, and they basically tell you that you can score points when you do something in the game. So in this case it says control the destruction area. There's a red area on the map, which you will see in a bit. And if you have the majority of your characters in there, then you can score victory points. Same for the yellow, the creation area, and the blue manipulation area. You can control the enemy deployment area. At least 2 of your champions are leveled up, then you also gain points. Champion adjacent to each of the 3 statues in each deployment area, so your own and the enemies. 2 or more champions in trap hexes. 2 or more champions adjacent to the yellow, blue, and there should also be a red statue. I think no, there isn't. So yellow and blue. All right. And then that's 3 champions adjacent to the same. Okay. And then it starts again because we have 2 of these sets. I believe 11 cards is what you should have. So we have these and then 2 of these. So you can play 2 games simultaneously if you also have the playmat. So you can use the board and the playmat. Let me open up these cards. Now, to be clear, I think only the Kickstarter edition came with a double deck of challenge cards. So the retail will just have one set, I think. Now, these are the character cards, and they are so nice and colorful. So you've got your character card, Goldar, is level 1, basically, the standard level and leveled up. And each of the heroes have one of these, and then they have their deck of cards, different colors. And that's it. It's a very small deck, just a handful of cards. And that is the deck of that character. And the same for Tsuzao here, a leveled up version, and his cards. So each of them have 6 cards. Kilgore with his cards, and each card has unique artwork as well, which is very cool. Here's Darren with her cards. Very nice and colorful. Gwen. Here's Dugrun. And there's Akhet. Roth. And I really like all of this artwork quite a lot. Here's Kolel. Very colorful, very dynamic, and all of them, like I said, unique art. There's Sulka, also very cool. And there's Korvash, the orc. And finally we have Marius, the Cursed. So there you go. Those are all the heroes and their cards. So now what else is there in here? There is another tray here. And this has, so basically 3D victory points. You can use tokens, but you can also use these awesome 3D sculpted cups as victory points. Here's a player, I think this is the first player token. That's also pretty cool. Really thick plastic with some cool detail on there, an axe and a sword. Really nice. And we've got these bases, these base rings. So you can have your orange and your purple team. All right. And finally, another tray here with some more of those cool 3D victory tokens here. There are these trap tokens, plastic trap tokens. No, these are the health tokens, I'm sorry. These are just the health tokens, which have a 1 damage basically, and 3 damage on the other side. There are tokens for these as well, but the Kickstarter edition came with these amazing 3D tokens. Then these must be the traps then. Yes, they are. We've got some traps, and they are all different. So on one side, you've got your trap. That's pretty cool, 3D big bear trap. On the other side, it says what happens. So this one does 3 damage, and you've got different ones. So this one does 1 damage. We've got a rooted trap. And let's see what else we have. This is 3 damage, and this is stun. So that's pretty cool. So we have different ones there, another stun and another damage. So those are the trap tokens. Got some more here. And also we have these action tokens. So each player gets 1 of each color. So you've got a yellow, a blue, and a red one, which is packed in here, I see. So those are basically your 3 actions, and once you use one, you flip them over to their inactive side. And those are your 3 actions for your turn. So really nice. All right, let's look at the statues. So in this tray, we've got 2 out of the 3 statues. That's really cool. So we have this one, which is, I believe, the blue manipulation statue. So that's really cool. It's a person sitting, their legs crossed, and 3 pairs of hands, of arms. Interesting. So that's pretty cool and really big as well. And then we have this one, I believe the yellow statue with this dwarf who is wielding a big hammer. Got his tome here with some scrolls on a chain and carrying an anvil on his back. A complete anvil. So there's that one. There you go, that way. And that fits nicely. And then lastly we've got this one, which was the red statue over here with this mage conjuring fire there. Also really nicely detailed. So that's the 3 statues that come with this edition of the game. And then we've got all of these heroes, of course. So let's start with this one. All right. So let's take a look here. Now, I don't know if I remembered all of their names. I think this is Wrath. Still struggling with some of the names there. But look at that. Look at that. How big that is. All of these miniatures are, well, hardly miniatures anymore. Small statues. And he's got this huge digging claws. Very detailed armor. He's got, even the bases are detailed, which is very cool. The big tail there. And he's actually in the air on that tail. That's the entire sculpt is basically hanging in the air. Really cool. Bursting out of the ground. Yeah, so that's Roth. Then we have the girl with the crossbow, Darren, Huntress of the Eastwood. And that is also very, very detailed. Look at that. She's carrying a trap because she puts down lots of traps. She works with traps. And she's a ranged character. Also very cool. Another trap there. That's really cool. All the detail, it's just amazing. And these trays have been designed in such a way that they hold all of the heroes. They just fit in each, in one of these 3 spots. So that's pretty cool. And here is Kilgore, the Ravager. So the orc here has a metal leg. And he's wielding this rod. Got spiky armor, the big metal jaw, metal plated armor. He's got a tail, which is unusual for an orc. Maybe he's not actually an orc. And he's got a metal arm as well. So he's kind of like a cyborg, more or less. Really cool. Big claw. Super cool. So he goes in here. All right. Let's see what else we have. So this is Su Zhao, the lion man, the tiger man. He's got dual blades, a big hair on top, and there's his tail and his cape billowing in the wind. Really nice. There's a lot of detail on these minis, which is really cool, and they're so big. So these will be really, really cool to paint. And I've already seen people painting up these. It's really amazing. Here is Goldar, the pirate. So he's got this big blade, and he's got a ball and chain, or actually it's an anchor. He's got a chain with an anchor. Very fitting, of course, on one of his hands. The big beard. He's got this cool skull on his belt there. It's very nice. He's even got a chest, a treasure chest on his back. Really nice. Big chunky minis. Fantastic. And I love the sculpted bases, the cobblestones there. So he fits in here. And then this is Gwayin. Also really cool. Floating in the air, casting spells. Lots of hair. Also billowing in the wind. Braided hair there. Also again, a very detailed base. Really, really lovely minis. Next, let's see what we have here. This one was called Akhet. So this Birdman is flying as well. So again, connected to the base with the tail. And flying towards the enemy with this flaming sword. Really cool. And look at the wings. It's very nice. They all have a bit of a, like an exaggerated detail to them. Big chunky feathers and then chunky weapons and armor. And I really like that style. It really fits the theme of the game as well. Here's Dugrun, the dwarf. So he's got this warhammer flames coming off it, or maybe that's some magical effect. He's got this really cool shield. Just look at that detail. It's amazing. The helmet he's wearing, and the beard. Again, very nicely detailed base. This cape, fur cape that he's wearing with some rocks jutting out, or crystals. That's pretty cool. He's got a war horn there and a satchel on his belt. Nice. And then this is Sulka. So this is kind of like a Naga snake person. She's wearing a mask. She's got some extra masks there. She's got two of these throwing darts. Pretty cool. You can see that in the artwork on her cards as well. So the tail is really, really detailed with all these scales here. That's really nice. Yep. Awesome. All right, and then lastly, we have these three. All right, this was the orc. This is Corvash, wielder of Scorn Blade. So, it's this big two-handed sword, Zweihandig, and he's got this banner on his back. This with the chains. It's a, well, banner. That's not really a banner. Don't know what that's called. With a skull on top. And the hair here and the beard and the teeth and lots of detail. And also in a very dynamic pose, just running towards the enemy. Just this right foot is touching the ground and the rest is all in the air. Really cool. Okay. Marius, the Cursed. Kind of like a werewolf. With the sword there. Big tail, the cape. Cool bony ribcage pauldrons. And here are these arm guards as well. Or those pauldrons and these epaulets, pauldrons, I don't know. Armor. That really nice. Nice. Okay, and then finally, this is Cole, who is riding this creature, this kind of reptile or dinosaur creature. Really cool. Curled tail, these paws on the ground, these front claws there. Kind of looks like a raptor or something. Some kind of huge chameleon. And she's sitting on top there with her blowpipe. This mask on the forehead. The hair coming out here. Pretty cool. Looks really nice. Look at that detail. Okay. So then on the bottom we've got the punch boards. So here are all the tokens that we also have in 3D. So this is the first player marker, all these health tokens, these victory point tokens, the traps and the action tokens, and the backs. Traps having different kind of effects, of course, inactive side of your actions, and the health that has a 1 or a 3. And we have this board that you can put next to your player board, to the actual gaming board. All right, then we've got these player boards. And yeah, they're basically very standard. They have your standard actions here, basic actions you can take, and a spot to put your action tokens, and a spot to put your 3 hero character cards so you can read those easily. And there's 4 of those. All right. And then finally, of course, the board. Let me see if I can fold that open. So that's pretty big. But yeah, you get the gist. Doesn't fit into the frame, but you have a deployment area on this side, and on the other side you've got 3 spots for the statues, and they have these colors around them. And well, this is basically the arena, the grid here, which is pretty nice. And yeah, all the icons are on there where the traps can be deployed. So that looks very colorful, very bright. And here on the left, there are the spots where the challenge cards will be sitting. And that means that, you know, you draw a card here, put it out so you can read it, but it doesn't give you any points yet. And then every turn they slide over and a new card gets flipped over, and then this card will give you 1 victory point. This will give you 2, 2, 1, and then it's discarded. So it's really important to keep that in mind. When is the best time to complete that challenge? All right. Back is also pretty nice, has that logo on it. Some artwork. And that is everything that's in the box. Let's open up the expansion. Okay, the Force of Nature expansion, first expansion for the base game, which has 3 new heroes that you can see depicted here. And on the back, there's pictures of the actual minis. So let's take a closer look. Here is a leaflet with the new minis, components, cards. And it also has a game trays insert. And the same in French. So here it is, the nice looking game trays insert, which is really cool. And it has, of course, all of the cards in 2 languages. So I'll open these up for you. Okay. So we've got Taze, the Thundering Thriller. Pretty cool. There's a leveled up side with his 6 cards. Again, with unique artwork on all of them. He's like this big thundering tank, just rushing in. Here's Nevermore. dark looking kind of warlock. The Shade, Dark Envoy, Nightmare. Pretty cool. And finally, Lorelei. Right, so those were the new cards. And the minis, of course. So let's take a look at Taze here. Nope, this is Nevermore. Nevermore. Also kind of floating in the air. There's a lot of billowing smoke here at the bottom of the base. Lanterns there on ropes. 3 of them he's carrying. His tattered cape. He's got a staff. Flames on it. Really cool. Big feathers in his neck. Really nice. And he's got some kind of bat-like creature perched on his head. Really nice. So one hand holds the lanterns, the other the staff. Really nice. Big, big figure, this one. Nevermore. So Taze is this one. There you can see this centaur with this ball and chain in one hand and in the other as well. He's got 2 of those. And huge, huge horns on his head. Very cool. This armor, the fur sticking out from under it. Very nice. So that is Taze. And Lorelei. Also in a very nicely sculpted base with a plant. Or snake. This is a kind of like a plant snake thing. Her pet. It's very cool. Some blossoms there and there. I love all the detail. And she's standing on her mount. Ready to strike. With this cool looking vine hair. Nice. Right, so those are these new minis from the Force of Nature expansion. Nothing underneath. And that is that. I also got the vinyl playmat, which I want to show you. So here you go, so you can take a better look at the entire board that way. It's just as big as the cardboard board. It's just made of vinyl, of course, with stitched edges and a rubber back, so it doesn't slide. And with this, you can, of course, play 2 games simultaneously, because you got 2 boards. You just have to draft your characters with all 4 players. I also got some extra base clips here, the black and the white ones I just tossed in here. That will help to remember which characters were yours. And so you got 4 different colors. And of course here is where the statues will stand. So this one will go here. It's pretty cool. This one goes here. And this one, I believe, goes here. So how that looks on the board. So yeah, you have that, and here are the points, victory points with the cards, the challenge cards, and the 2 deployment zones. So that looks really cool. I also got these team player mats. So we've got 2 player mats for the red team. Of course, you can also just use them for single player versus single player games. And we have got 2 purple mats. So, well, orange and purple were the base clips in the core game, and then there's black and white if you want to have different colors. That's pretty nice. They're also made of that same vinyl, very sturdy, doesn't stretch much, it's very, very solid. Has also the same backing, really nice, very vibrant colors, Good quality. Easy to read, even with this small font here, which is relatively small, but you can still clearly read that, so that's really nice. All right, and then finally, I got some extras. I got some sleeves for all the hero cards, which is pretty cool, with their own art on them. So that looks really, really good. Let me open that up. So I got sleeves for these 4 heroes here. You can see, got some sleeves with the Super Fantasy Brawl logo on them. These for the challenge cards, and a pack of blank sleeves as well. I really like how that looks. Not really necessary, of course, but look at that art. Isn't that cool? Really, 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 really nice. All right, and then finally, I have these grandstands. So let me just open one up and show you what that looks like. So these are the grandstands put together. So this one is a grandstand for your challenge cards. You can put 5 on there, and then you can slide them over every time you draw a new one, which looks pretty cool. So you have that. That's nice. You can put that on one side of the board, actually over on this side where the cards are, so like that. And then the other grandstand is for your trophy. So every time you win a trophy, you can put it on here, and the first person to reach the star in the middle, if you have 5, wins the game. So that's pretty cool as well. Just a little bit of an extra thing to pimp your game. And it's pretty nice. So you can put that on the other side of the board, and then you have an actual arena with 2 grandstands looking really nice. And that's that. And so that was my unboxing of Super Fantasy Brawl by Mythic Games. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please also consider to become a patron to my channel. There's a link to my Patreon page at the end of this video or in the description below. And that really helps me make more content for you and is also greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.